Hey, Commanders Nation, what's up everyone? Hold on to your hats because we're about to discuss a possibility that's emerged in recent days and that, frankly, could shake things up for our team. We've been closely following all the off-season moves, the arrival of new talent, and the new management's work in building a strong roster. And now, news from a respected NFL source points to a signing that would be, at the very least, bold and has the potential to be a game changer. Stick with me until the end, because you need to understand this story and what it means for our Commanders. So, like this video and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on everything. Don't forget, this video has two very important pieces of news. First, we know that, at least publicly, the Washington Commanders seem satisfied with their current group of running backs. General Manager Adam Peters and the coaching staff have expressed confidence in the players already on the team and the new additions. They invested a draft pick, albeit a late one, in Jackery Crosky-Merritt, an intriguing name that has generated considerable excitement among us. To be honest, many of us fans expected a big-name addition to the backfield during the offseason. We saw some renowned running backs on the market and thought, surely the Commanders will try to bring in a star player? But Adam Peters took a different approach, maintaining confidence in players like Brian Robinson, who was our guy, and Austin Eckler, who arrived to add a different dimension to the offense. This approach by management was a clear vote of confidence in the players already on the roster. Jeremy McNichols is also on the team, and Chris Rodriguez had his contract renewed, showing that the team sees some potential in him, even if his chances of making the final 53-man roster seem slim unless he makes a huge leap in performance during training camp. This situation shows that the team values continuity, but is also open to surprises. However, we know that the NFL landscape is very dynamic and can change at any moment. If Adam Peters decides the team needs more options or a different kind of talent at running back, he won't hesitate to make adjustments. It's in this context that the information that made my eyes pop wide open emerged, coming from a significant league source, pointing to the Commanders as a potential destination for one of the biggest names still available in free agency. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, a journalist with excellent sources, pointed to the Washington Commanders as a team that would make sense for running back Nick Chubb. Yes, you heard that right. Nick Chubb, one of the most talented running backs in the league in recent years, who unfortunately has been dealing with serious injury problems, is looking for a new opportunity somewhere. This possibility, for me, is both exciting and worrying. Fowler acknowledged that the market for running backs has been tough this offseason, and many players at the position are still waiting to find a team, likely until training camp. He doesn't expect Chubb to return to the Browns unless some surprise or injury occurs there, and it was at this point that he mentioned that some teams might be looking for an extra running back at some point, citing the Commanders and the Bears as examples. To be honest, the idea of having a player with Nick Chubb's pure talent wearing a Commander's uniform is too tempting. He's been among the league's best, with an incredible combination of strength, speed, and ability to break tackles. From the videos he posts on social media, it seems he's recovering well from injuries and working hard to stay in shape, which is a good sign and keeps his name in the spotlight. But as a realistic fan, I also see the red flags. Chubb played in only 10 games over the last 2 seasons, a low number reflecting the serious injury problems he's faced, especially with his knee. Signing a player with that history, however talented, is a bold and risky move. We need to consider whether the potential benefit outweighs the risk of him not being able to stay healthy. Much will depend on the type of contract Nick Chubb is seeking. With his recent injury history, it's certain he won't get a max value contract like the extension he received from the Cleveland Browns in the past. This means that financially, there might be value in signing him if the deal is for a reasonable amount, and most importantly, if he can have a run of better luck with his health than he's had in recent years. If Chubb were healthy and seeking a large contract, I'd say it would be practically impossible for the Commanders, considering the other players we already have in the salary cap space. But if he's willing to sign a more modest contract, perhaps with performance incentives and games played, the conversation changes. It would be a calculated gamble on his potential. From the player's perspective, Nick Chubb would likely welcome the opportunity to impact a competitive team. He spent much of his career in Cleveland, which hasn't always had winning seasons, and the chance to play in a new environment with a new coaching staff and a promising roster like the Commanders could be a motivating factor for him. But, of course, the interest needs to be mutual. The team needs to want him as much as he might want to come here. This speculation about Nick Chubb makes me think about the mentality of the new management. They aren't afraid to make moves that generate discussion and could have a significant impact, whether positive or negative. Bringing in a player with Chubb's talent and history would be proof of that. It would be a high-stakes bet in pursuit of a potentially enormous return. And as a fan, I'm caught in a mix of anxiety and expectation. Now, we're going to talk about one of our players who, despite not being the starting quarterback, has shown that his influence extends far beyond the football field. Prepare to be inspired, because we're going to discover how a veteran on our team is helping motivate athletes in another sport, and what that might say about the kind of leadership we have in the locker room. Stick with me until the end because this story is incredible and has an important lesson for all of us fans. We know Marcus Mariota as the veteran quarterback who arrived to provide experience and mentor our young rookie, Jaden Daniels. Mariota is known around the league for being a positive guy, a good teammate, and someone who motivates those around him. And it seems that this characteristic of his isn't limited to NFL fields or our locker room here in Washington. Recently, Mariota showed that his ability to inspire extends far beyond football and even reaches his former home, the University of Oregon. The Oregon women's softball team, known as the Oregon Ducks, is preparing for one of the most important moments of their season, the Women's College World Series, which is like the national championship for college softball, and to give the girls and the fans an extra boost who showed up to lend their voice to a promotional video for the team, but our very own Marcus Mariota. For me, this shows the kind of person he is. Someone who doesn't forget where he came from and cares about supporting other athletes, even in a completely different sport and professional level. It's a really cool gesture on his part. In the video, Mariota, a Heisman Trophy winner during his time at Oregon, delivers a powerful message to the athletes. He talks about resilience, about taking pride in their journey, and about the legacy they're building. It's a message that, in my opinion, applies not only to sports but to life and shows the depth of his thinking. He says something in the video that struck me and that I think we, as fans, can also apply. Every champion has been questioned, ignored, underestimated, discarded. Wow, how many times has our team felt that way, right? But then he completes it with a chilling phrase, "But faith speaks louder than doubt." This message of believing in yourself, even when no one else believes, is super inspiring. For Oregon fans, Marcus Mariota is a true idol. He's not just a well-known name. He's a symbol of what it means to be an elite athlete at the university. He was the first Oregon player in history to win the Heisman Trophy, the most important award in college football, and led the team to many victories during his time there. His 2014 season at Oregon was simply spectacular, one of the best in college football history. His numbers were impressive, throwing for over 4,000 yards and scoring many touchdowns, showcasing the talent that made him a high draft pick in the NFL. That's why his connection with the university and its fans remains so strong. Even after years in the NFL, Mariota's connection with Oregon remains intact. He talks about the spirit of legacy that exists in the university's sports programs, saying they are built by those who came before us, strengthened by those who are beside us, continued by those who are behind us. It's a vision of community and passing the torch that's really cool. The promotional video ends with a phrase that, for me, sums it all up and is the icing on the cake of this motivational message. When belief meets the moment, champions are made. That's the message the Oregon softball players will take to the Women's College World Series, seeking their first ever title. And it's a message that we, as Commanders fans, can also embrace. Having a player like Marcus Mariota on our team, someone who demonstrates this kind of leadership and ability to inspire, even off the field, makes me proud. It shows his character and the kind of positive influence he can have in our own locker room, helping shape the mentality of younger players like Jaden Daniels and contributing to the culture the new management wants to build. And now, Commanders Nation, I want to know your opinion. Seeing how Marcus Mariota uses his voice and his story to inspire athletes in another sport and at his former university, what do you think this says about the kind of leadership he brings to our locker room here in Washington? Leave your comment below. Let's discuss the importance of this kind of attitude. And if you enjoyed this inspiring story and don't want to miss any news or analysis of our Commanders, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss out.